Hey guys, Kevin Downey from Kevin M. Downey and Strategic Advisor at Aptive Index. Thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. In this video, I want to talk about recruiting and retaining employees without increasing base salary. Okay, because one of the things we see in the United States certainly is turnover rates are getting higher and higher. We're having greater challenges on not just finding people, but retaining them. And companies are a bit at a loss, right? We keep hiring off of skills and experience resume. We've got a 42 to 47% turnover rate, depending on the data you believe. It keeps going up. We're losing almost 1 out of every 2 employees in the United States each year. And we keep doing the same thing, and we keep trying to solve it by just like throwing more money at people, which isn't necessary. And I'm going to explain to you why. So if you have never heard of it, it's called drive-based hiring. Aptive Index is the premier vendor in that space. Very quick explanation on it. The science has been around for over 100 years. It's been used in business for decades. Aptive Index's oldest competitor has been around since the 80s. There's a handful of them that do similar to Aptive Index. They all do it a little bit differently, but they're very similar. Aptive's advantage is that the science is newer. They've taken some leaps, and then the AI is just out of the park awesome, and nobody else has it. It's the coolest thing ever, and its usefulness in companies is just amazing. I'm not going to dig into that in this video, but we want to talk about, okay, what do we have to do in the data? We have the validation studies and there's surveys out there about this in hiring and retaining people, is that we need people, when people match their wiring pattern, as we call it, their attributes, match the jobs, what is required in the jobs, they perform better, right? They're more engaged. Everything feels more natural, engaging, sustainable. It's like going downhill. It's like writing with their dominant hand. Everything is easier. That is the ticket to not just hiring, but retaining people. Because when they come into work and they are doing what they are built to do, everything just goes better. Everything is smoother. It's like time flies during the course of the day, right? When people's attributes don't match the job, now we're doing things that fight our natural drives. We create stress, burnout, underperformance. Everything's an uphill battle. It's like trying to write with our non-dominant hand. It's a great analogy, by the way. So we want to match people and their attributes to the jobs, okay? Now, what does this look like in practical application? And I'm going to give you evidence of an example, okay? And when we talk about drive-based hiring, again, I should have defined it actually. These are the attributes that we're measuring, what's called cognitive attributes. They're the attributes that are our fundamental needs and motivations that drive our decisions and actions, how we're wired, how we're built. It's established when we're teens and it doesn't change, okay? If you don't think that it matters, if you have all been involved in a B2B company in the sales department or an owner in a B2B company, I'm going to give you proof. Okay, because this has been going on forever, and there's a perfect reason why. It's a perfect reason why. I'm going to show you. Okay, here's what a profile looks like, by the way. Main profile is 4 drives: influence, sociability, consistency, and precision. And then we have 4 standalone attributes: emotional resonance, pro-social, intensity, and abstraction. Okay, now in practical application, what does this look like given the question that I raised? Okay. So let's take a look at, we're just going to use sales as the example, but once you understand and you get it, you're going to say, that does make sense. Now you can see if the wiring pattern, if people's attributes match the job, they're top performers almost all the time because they're doing what they're built to do. And they're energized by it. Everything just flows, right? Okay. Prototype B2B sales professional that is not going to manage their customer base in the long run. Call them a hunter sales rep. Okay, similar to a one-call closer, which is more B2C sales. A lot of in-home sales is like this, right, in residential. Okay, but similar, not the same. But a hunter sales rep, totally different than a farmer sales rep. Farmer is got a customer base. They're always working with them. They've got this big, long-standing relationship. They've got sociability is high. Pro-social is really high. Like, that's what we're looking for in somebody like that, okay? Now, but in B2B, hunter sales rep, most common hire that we get asked for in my agency, okay? But companies want them to come in and they want them to, right, go get business, but they also want them to prospect. And in modern business, B2B, prospecting, and it's been this way for a while, but it really got exacerbated with COVID. Modern B2B business development is hard. It's a grind. It's repetition of the same thing over and over again. There's research and connecting with people and trying to figure out who the right contact is and this and that and the other thing. And we're trying to hire salespeople to also do business development. And the problem is that people, they're almost opposite. I'm going to show you a BDR profile. It's a perfect BDR profile right here, right? Why? High C. Why? We need to do the same thing over and over again and handle all kinds of rejection. And it can't phase them, right? So we need, intensity doesn't have to be that high. Sociability, decent. Low influence. They need to be just given a job and go. They're not the ones that are going to guide customers like you are in a consultative, high-dollar hunter sales position in B2B. These people are built to sell. They are built to guide people. They are built for influence as the primary drive with high intensity. Okay? That's what we want in our sales professional. But that's not a business development rep. So we wonder, again, you want to match people to jobs. You want to keep people in jobs and not have to pay them more money and get higher job satisfaction and lower turnover. You hire based on drives, not based on skills and experience. Because how many times have I seen B2B companies insist upon industry experience for so many things where it is not necessary? Stuff that they could be trained on the basics of the industry and the lingo within weeks. Weeks. Not a big deal. Not that hard. We're dealing with one right now, client. Who they hire is going to fail, almost unequivocally, because they're trying to hire off resume. It's all they're looking at. They're looking for industry background and experience, and what they want the person to do is prospect. And that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. You have to hire based on drives. This person here, this person's built to do the same thing over and over again, day after day after day. Give you an example. Here's our BDR, SDR in my agency, okay? All right, had no experience at all. We went purely off of wiring pattern, off attributes, and he's knocked it out of the park, right? Is he dead on perfect on the pattern? No, not perfect, but really close, right? Sociability could be a little bit higher, but his C drive, nice and high. P, he's pretty picky, doesn't really need to be that high, right? S drive, he's a little off. Influence, he's right in range, right intensity range, right? But he's built, right? Emotional resonance is low, so he's not getting impacted by people rejecting him all the time or telling him no. He's just doing the same thing 50 to 100 times a day, over and over and over again. Gets 1 to 2 appointments a day for us, all day, every day. Because he's built to do the job. He's been doing it for 6 months without fail. No burnout, right? But you take then a salesperson and you try to force them to do the cold outreach, and 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 might do enough to get by and do it. But so many companies are wasting salaries and all kinds of money on people that aren't built to do the cold outreach. They're built to sell. Business development is not sales. It's a marketing function, not a sales function done by the sales department, but it's a marketing function. It's research, it's grind, it's repetition. It's the same thing over and over and over again. So when we go back to the topic and you talk about how do we get people to stay without paying them more? How do we find people that are going to not turn over, that are going to stay in the jobs, that aren't going to ghost us immediately? Hire based on wiring pattern, on attributes, match them to the job, not based on their resume, right? Last story I'll tell you, this is a really good story coming from one of the strategic advisors at Aptive Index, has a client. Aptive Index has completely changed their business. And one of the things that came out of Aptive was one of the reps that they let go, not because of Aptive, but they had let go, took it, and they come to find out that this person had the same job in 6 successive companies. It's a sales position, actually, and failed in every single one, but just kept because of resume, and she could talk the talk and interview great. She had all of the resume to basically say, hey, I've done this for these companies and all this stuff, and who knows what was honest or truthful on the resume and all that. But at the end of the day, she was able to sell herself into jobs constantly, and she failed at every single one. Why? Because she didn't want a business dev. She didn't want to make the calls. She wanted to sell. She wanted the salary, but she wasn't willing to go out and lead gen. She told them she would, evidently, but never did it. So she kept getting canned over and over and over again. That's what this, you have to hire based on drives and attributes in order to have dramatically decrease turnover and end up with a bunch of people that are top performers in your company. Match the drive and the attributes of the person to the job. Okay. Hopefully that helps you. Again, if you want to take it, you got to take it. You should have a link from me. If you don't, go to our website, kevinmdowney.com. There's a link. It says take Aptive Index. Go ahead and take it. The results will come to you in a PDF directly. And then if you want to get out on a call and we'll explore it, how you can use it in your organization, we'll dig in and we'll do a demo. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here today. Best of luck in business, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.